up and welcome to another episode of the
Migo Experiment.
Yo, I'm Henry Flo.
Willy B.
LaBori.
This is my Diego.
Ingrid Ortega.
And Catherine.
And threw him up a little bit, man. But listen, today we actually have Creating Casa in the house today. Welcome, ladies. Yes. So, we're going to just jump right in. So, what is Creating Casa?
So Creating Casa, we are a small collective. It's a group of 4 women. We're all from the Northern Virginia area. And we are a group that got established in 2018, so relatively new. But really the point is to celebrate, Latinx arts and culture and humanities in the DMV area. We want to keep it local. We want to celebrate each other. There are so many of us and we're all here and we've been here, but it feels very separated. So we want to create something to connect people, to bring people together, to celebrate our culture, to celebrate each other. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Like an eHarmony for like Latinos, just like Latino culture kind of like thing.
LatinxLove.com.
There you go.
Speaking about that, so what's Latinx?
I don't know. What is it?
You tell me.
It's
You ask me what am I? So Latino.
It's something that's so new that you're
Yeah.
that we're
What's
hearing
Latinx?
like so much.
I do want to just add, when I think of Latinx, I just think of gender neutral. That's my perception of it. And so we just want to be inclusive.
Gender neutral or just country neutral? Like what?
I think gender neutral. I feel like a lot of people identify themselves in, different things. So I think that's, for my opinion, it's like the safe thing to call it Latinx. Make sure we're inviting everyone.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that.
Me neither. I mean,
Yeah.
but I never thought about that. I never thought about how gender had anything to do with it, to be real with you.
Same.
But I get it, Latino, Latina, I get it. But then it's just Hispanic. Like, that's kind of like all in one.
So the term Hispanic was actually coined in the Reagan administration. So it's actually a term that none of us probably would have come up with on our own. And so if you think about it, it was kind of given to us because during the Reagan administration, there was a big collaboration with Central America. If you guys think back, maybe your parents came during that time, or maybe you yourself did come. And so technically, that's not even a valid term. So if you now look at Latinx, you can kind of see there's some pushback in the Latin community because it doesn't necessarily translate to Spanish. You can't say Latin, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
But because we come from a male-dominated culture, people that are gender non-conforming or LGBTQ didn't have a space, and so you see this new generation of, if you want to say Latinidad, Latino, Latina, whatever term you assign to, there wasn't that identity piece, and so some people that identify in the Latino community assign to that term, and some don't, because technically that term doesn't exist in our language. And so there's some conversations about it. And that, again, similar to the word Hispanic, it's not something we came up with. It's kind of been given to us. But this time around, it's from people of our own background coming up with it. And not, I don't want to say coming up with it because that's kind of invalidating. But looking for an identity within our culture here in the U.S.
That's dope. I mean, I've never heard somebody actually explain it like that.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
I'm not explaining it the best way, but that's just how I understand.
You understood, right? I did.
I think I understood. That was like the breakdown.
I didn't even know that Reagan even like coined Hispanic.
We all learned something right now.
The census did during that time.
All right, cool. Because it's well too, like I'm just saying that porque like my mom be like, so Hispana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I ran with it. And that's the thing that sometimes,
that's the thing. At the end of the day, it's all okay. It's what connects with you.
But
what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
When you said it's kind of like a pushback, right? Like, let's keep it real. Latinos, man, they don't really like too much change. Like, when it's just like,
That's
it's like,
true.
oh, why you gonna change it? like it. It's fine. Like, it was fine just the way it was. Like,
Yeah.
so I can see the pushback. You know what I mean? But I've never actually had somebody break it down like that. Because I never understood it, me being, you know, from the generation that came up with the Jordans, like real Jordans, you know, like everything that the culture is into now. It's just like I came up in that culture, and I don't even know what the hell they call it, man. I'm that old. But it's just like, you know, it's just that, because we came up from when there was tapes to like what it is now, MP3 files. So it's just like, yeah, it's a lot from that, you know, it happened.
I mean, well, is, you know, like how you said, you know, it basically goes back to like what people like identify themselves best with. How do you ladies like feel about it? Like, do you identify yourself as Latinx now, or do you still feel comfortable with the old ways of Latina, Latino? Or...
So personally, I identify as Latina. So the Latinx term for me is new, and I'm still wrapping my mind around it and like
She's still pushing back too.
Well, for many years, like I grew up just calling myself like Hispana. You know what I mean? Like that's what we are. That's all I knew. And the more I became educated on it, it's like, okay, like to add on to what Vanessa was saying, like Hispana or Hispano, like that word indicates like coming from Spain, right? So the word Latino, Latina, Latinx indicates Latin America. It indicates Central America. So once I connected with that, I was like, okay, I'm Latina, you know? I'm accepting of the term Latinx just because of my personal beliefs and, you know, accepting everybody despite, you know, regardless of how they identify as, you know, their gender. So I'm open and accepting to that, but I personally identify as Latina.
So speaking about Latinas and Latinos and Latinx, where are you ladies from? Because I know son Latinas, pero ¿de dónde?
So I'm born here, but both my mom and dad are Salvadorian.
Okay.
Yep.
Vanessa, también salvadoreños.
El Salvador.
Okay.
Born in Queens, raised here, families from Guatemala.
Dope.
How about you guys?
I'm Salvadorian.
Salvadorian.
Puerto Rican.
Honduran, Salvadorian.
Nice.
Yep. Born here, raised here,
From the outside.
raised in DC.
I am the outsider.
It's all good though. But at the end of the day, we all Latinx stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all be. I get it. So exactly what is it that Creating Casa does? Like, okay, ladies gave me a breakdown earlier, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of understood it like, well, are they a promotion company? Or it's just like, but explain to them like the last couple of events you've had. Explain to them what happened.
I think we should all touch base on it. But the last event was our first art exhibit. It was called self-titled art show called Creating Casa, and we had Wanda find all the artists, introduce us to all these amazing artists, and we just gave them a place, a safe space to just exhibit their art. So we had 4 artists. We actually had a poem that we just blew up and had on the wall that a lot of people could relate to. It was Quinceañera by Titus. And so we just invited people. It was at the Hive in Anacostia. And a lot of these people have never had the opportunity to like have their art, you know, up and just invite so many people. It was like a party when we had our opening night. But when I think about it, when I think of what we're doing, it's just creating a safe space for people in this area to connect them, especially people that believe in the arts. And for me personally, I love painting because it's my way to like be stress free, and a lot of people feel that even if it's like in a different art medium. So for us, it's just creating that safe space, exhibiting amazing art from our peers.
Hence Creating Casa.
There you go.
And I think also creating a sense of community among these young, primarily, if not, I think, Latino, Latinx artists, because, you know, similar to other areas, I'm sure, in work and other professional areas, the arts world can gear towards one demographic, and so you don't see it as much as you would like the Latinx or Latino representation. And we have such a rich culture. It's not just, you know, Central America, South America. It's everything that encompasses the Latin community. And like Catherine said earlier, you see a lot of separation sometimes, especially in the arts. And so just having a space where people can come together, think about and talk about what they're doing with their own creativity. We have a very, very creative culture, and I think sometimes we just don't have a narrative. And so we're trying to help support that.
It's pretty dope though. It's pretty dope. It's kind of like the bridge to like, you know how the hip hop community, the African American community have like their own thing. Like, you know, it's, and to be honest with you, we kind of like sprinkle into it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like you guys actually grabbing our culture, and because it is a lot of all that and the mixtures of all that and this and that and this and that. And that's dope. That's dope. Creating Casa, I get it now.
And I
Creating
think
Casa,
to add on to, like, besides showcasing the arts and the humanities, it's about like this interaction that we're having right now. Like, we're sitting down at a table and we're talking to you guys. Like, I didn't know you guys. You know what I mean? Like, we vice versa. It's like creating. Like, now we know who we are. Like, now we're connecting these dots, and we're connecting each other, and we're gonna, you know, meet people through you and vice versa. And it's sort of to beginning that conversation. It's like, okay, what can we do together? You know, it's about collaboration, really.
Is that an experiment for you guys too?
I think, I mean, it's a learning process. Like, we're learning as we go.
Yeah.
I
think anything you
definitely
do in whatever field you're in, you gotta
Put them goggles on, because it might just
It
could happen. Be like, damn, all right, I won't do that next time.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, speaking, like, you know, about like events that you guys do in order to like have like people in our community to like connect. Are there any upcoming events that you guys have coming?
Yeah, we're really excited about this one.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We're all excited.
We are.
So,
Do you
April
see it?
1st, yeah, April 1st to April 24th, our next exhibit called Siempre Aquí is going to be at the GW Art Community Gallery, the ARC. Their name is pretty long, Art Reach Community in DC. And so that's where we're featuring 5 artists now. We're incorporating not only artists that have different mediums, we have musicians coming in. And since our last project until now, it's not too late what I'm about to tell you guys, but we've been collecting photos from the community, just like memories of themselves, their family in the DMV area. And we're going to be exhibiting all the photos that have been submitted so far. I can't give away too much, but when you walk, the idea behind this exhibit, when you walk in, we want you to remember what it was like to walk into your grandma's house or your mom's house now. So that's why it's called Siempre Aquí, tying in with the photos. We've always been here. We will always be here. Siempre aquí.
It better smell like tortillas and frijoles.
Oh.
That will remind me of my grandma real quick.
Is someone gonna like pop out like with a chancleta or like a wooden spoon?
I'm home.
Walk in there like,
I'm home. Got chancleta lunch right here.
I mean, you never know.
Some a-hole behind it. Hey, what's up, yo?
We'll walk behind Flo when they come in.
It's an immersive gallery, so
Definitely.
you never know.
You never know.
Oh man.
Yeah,
It's
so
gonna
we're
be
really
cool.
excited.
We are.
Opening night is April 11th, so you guys should definitely show support and come.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to show support, but you
Definitely.
definitely got to show support. But how can they follow you, ladies? How can they follow Creating Casa?
Yeah, so everyone, we are on Instagram at Creating Casa. The link in our bio, we're still accepting photos. We haven't set a date, so as soon as you see this, I recommend just doing it. Just go through your mom's my mom has just a shoebox of photos. Go through that, submit it. It's something truly special to all of us, and I'm sure it'll be special to you.
Cool, man, cool.
Yeah.
Well, so welcome to the Migo Experiment. So here we basically talk about, all sorts of topics that's going on around the world, but in this particular case, there's one thing going on around the world, which is Mike Tyson, my man. Like, Mike Tyson is offering $10 million, man, for the dude que se atreva, man, to marry his daughter, father her kids, and be the husband in her life. A straight shooter, you better be, because he'll knock you the fuck out, But how do you feel about Mike Tyson, like, doing that, Like, what is, especially having so many women here, what is your opinion of your daddy be like, somebody marry my daughter? Like, how would you feel?
They're like, I mean, it's shocking to me. Like, I think if my dad ever did that, I would ask him, like, why? Like, why do you think I need this so bad? I think now, too, it's like, why do I need to have babies and get married? You know?
Do you not want to have babies and get married?
But, personally, I do. But what if I didn't? What if she doesn't? Like, you know what I'm saying?
There's
like,
some
does
women
she
like
need
that, yeah.
You know? Like, does she need to get married and have a kid? Like, I don't
Does she need papers?
She's Mike Tysons' daughter, man.
No,
Hey,
man.
Beck was
Hey,
all
honestly, it's Mike Tyson. Like, he's always putting up offers, like $1 million offers for anything. Like, at this point, I'm just like, all right, I'm not really surprised. Like, when I say anything, I mean like anything.
His daughter.
Yeah, so the fact when I heard his daughter, I was like, okay, all right. Just when I didn't think that he could go any, okay. I was like, all right.
Well, to be honest, we don't, because I don't know if they mentioned like the whole entire background of it, because like if it was her idea, then
That's
by
true.
all means, and okay. But if it was his idea, if I was a girl, I'd find it a little bit disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I agree with you, like, do I really have to? Like, why do you, especially to offer money. There's other girls out there actually that like sells they're like, $1 million for like, now give you my virginity or some stuff like that. But that's like,
we know who you are. Go ahead.
I mean, that's their choice. But I'm saying as a father to forcefully just pay somebody or just offer them money just to, where's the love in that? You know what I'm saying? There's no love in that, and therefore like you put the money up there, but now you're just whoever guy's gonna go, they're gonna just go for money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I think it's a publicity stunt.
Agreed.
Then again, but yeah,
I'm
this
gonna
is
pay it
like
no mind.
these are celebrities. They do
They're
whatever,
celebrities.
they do whatever they
Like,
want.
what are you talking about?
Just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah. I mean, but honestly, how old is she? Like, that's another thing. Like, maybe
Man, you don't even know what happened. She probably, daddy, nobody will marry me.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like,
baby,
how
you're so
old
I
is
would
she?
love you. You gonna take care of you. You know. She probably went crying to him about it. He's like, you know what? I got you, baby. I take care of you right now, baby. I got you. She's like,
But
man,
this does sound like him too.
you don't know, man. I'm saying you don't know.
Hey, Mike, we don't know him. We don't know him.
Hey, Mike, I don't know what really happened, bro. You know what I mean? But hey, it could happen, you know. But who knows, man? I mean, I don't know what really happened. It could be a publicity stunt. I wouldn't put it past, you know what I mean? But I don't think it was a publicity stunt when he stole a couple people on the side of the road neither, you know what I mean? Like, shut up. You know, I don't think that was publicity stunt because he got sued and got some money for that. But who knows? I mean, could be publicity stunt or it could be in like 100% real. Like, but I get what you're saying though, because especially like this day and age with mental health and stuff like that can be, the girl can be like, oh my God, I really look that bad. Like, you're offering somebody to really like marry me. Because I'm like, F. I got a daughter too, man. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
Alright, so we got Diego. So Diego can marry her and we split the money.
hey, do like.
I don't know why you looking at me. Look at the wall.
Just make it quick. I mean, just let it last a year at least, and then, you know, we can retire.
Oh my God. What if she's like in a female though?
I just want to know how old she is. I think that I really want to know that. Like, I mean, is she like, you know, getting older and he's just like, all right, like I want grandbabies, or, you know, does she feel some type of way like, oh, like I can't find love, like, or maybe like guys are coming to her because of the fact that her father is Mike Tyson.
Hey Mike, did you fuck up, Mike? Did you fuck up, Mike? You hit her with the, I want grandkids. Like, did you do that, bro? I mean, Mike, please don't knock me out, bro. But did you do that, bro?
Before you get knocked out, that's it about Mike Tyson. Now let's go to the next topic with the little girl that got arrested in Orlando. It was in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, it was Orlando, man. It wasn't Orlando, Florida.
In Orlando, Florida, she got arrested at her school. She was waiting for her parents and the cops came.
Man, it kind of sucks, man. If y'all don't know, man, 5 months ago,
terrible.
She was waiting for her
6-year-old girl got taken out to pretty much to the office or whatever, but it's because she threw a tantrum and ended up actually hitting a teacher, or her teacher. And pretty much, you know, they were going to press charges on her because she hit a teacher. She's 6 years old. police came and arrested her, put her in the back of the car, and took her to jail. Like, really did. But you know, a lot's happened since then. By the way, you know, cops actually been let go and everything. But just the fact that a 6-year-old got locked up and they weren't white, how do I feel about that?
That's traumatizing.
I think it's a trauma to that kid. Like, why don't you just send her to the principal's office? Like, isn't that standard protocol? Like, who called the police?
The teachers.
I don't know. That just.
I would, instead of calling the cops, I would call the parents.
The parent.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, well, first of all, she shouldn't have been taken away without her parents. She's sick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, if being put in a police car wasn't traumatizing enough, I don't know what would be for a 6-year-old. She lost trust in probably the school system right there.
Yeah.
I think the parents will
And-
lose trust into the
Absolutely.
school system right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Solid
You know, they
point.
just called the cops on her. Think about it. If you have your own kid, like you realize and they're 6 years old, and you go, your school is telling you, yeah, we just called the cops on your kid. They're in jail.
Yeah.
Just pick them up.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
As a parent, I would be livid.
Yo.
Well, yeah, the school is like the safe space, right, where you send your kid every day. Like, you never think the cops are gonna be called on your 6-year-old
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No, I agree. I mean, but like my thing is like they're 6. My kid is about to be 3, so that's half the age, right? And my kid sees so many things that happen. Well, I try to keep them away from watching, you know, like what we watch, like news especially, because
Yeah.
news is sometimes so heartbreaking, yo. You know what I mean? But I'm saying like other kids get exposed to these things, so they always see, you know, police brutality or even police killing people, especially minorities, you know. So this little girl, that fear and that cry is that's real fear. It's not like, oh my God, I don't want to be seen like this. No, it's like real tears.
Yeah.
So it kind of broke my heart, like in a way, like yo, she's really scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like being a parent as well, and hearing my kid cry is scared versus just you know.
The
It's
recording
a
that you showed me,
difference.
was that another police
It was
officer?
a body camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was 2 officers involved, and I think one was put on leave, and the one that
One was
actually
fired.
arrested her
One was
was
fired.
fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, like, how hard can a 6-year-old, you know, punch you for you to like be like, I'm gonna call the cops on you? Like, what was it like? Really, like, you know, I have a 6-year-old niece. When she gets mad, I hit you. You know, when she hits me, I'm just like, ah. But you know, like, I'm just like,
I think of like time out and then just like talking to them after, not
Yeah.
calling the cops.
You know what's even crazier?
No, we gotta go back to the old
Hold
ways.
on. You know what's even crazier?
That's how
I'm like,
Yeah.
Wow.
But what's crazier is the fact that they had to call 911, right? You gotta go through somebody first, and then which is a 911 operator, and they gotta authorize that. So at the same time, it kind of starts with them. I don't know why they would say yes to such a thing.
Well, the 911 person, dispatcher doesn't necessarily make that call. All they do is just disperse the information.
No, because
So,
they
but
do have some sort of right. Because they're not allowed just to send cops to just anything, especially if it's really unnecessary. Their job is to send things or we're in dire situation and emergencies, not some 6-year-old pulling a tantrum. That's not their job. They honestly, the 911 operators just say like, yo, what are you doing? Like, why are you calling us to handle a 6-year-old kid?
I mean, but then again, like, you know, sometimes they'll like, we don't know exactly what was said in that call, but then again, sometimes, you know, depending on what is said, they could be like, you know, we'll send an officer to like check out everything and make sure that everything's okay, or you know.
I mean, you still got security guards. You still have the principals. I mean,
well,
there's other
technically, the
authorities.
police officer himself actually has a higher power he had to communicate with before he actually arrested the child. Because anybody under the age of 12 has to be pretty much like, yeah, take him away or take her away. Like, and I believe that was the chief or the supervisor, the shift supervisor that makes that call. And they actually didn't follow protocol. That's the reason why, thus, he got let go. Because before he even put the child behind in the back seat, he had to call them to get that approval. Okay, she's about to be arrested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the reason why he got let go, because he didn't follow the protocol. Because come on, man, like 6 years old. Like, una regañada. Or even a straight scared dude. The cops scared the shit out of me at 6 years old. You know what I mean? They come around. I mean, I've seen some stuff with some cops at 6 years old. Don't get me wrong, but they come out and just tell me, you know, portate bien, you know, or else you're gonna end up in the bucket. It probably would put a little fear in me, but I come back, you know. I still crying a little bit, you know, act like ain't nothing happened. You know what I mean? As a 6-year-old, but that I think that's when I kind of like, I don't know what we want to call it, common sense, but common morals. like, dude, like, you're the adult, you know what I mean? Like, you can talk to a child, you know? I get it. Some people are extremely dry, don't know how to communicate for shit to nobody. You know what I mean? I get it. But still, like, that just, you being that authority figure, what you say can actually change a kid's life and what you do, you know?
That's also very
She'll
important.
remember that.
Oh,
forever.
Yes,
That's
of
gonna-
course.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
traumatizing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now she'll never look at like a police is saying.
Yeah,
and,
authority.
and that sucks because police are, you know, generally supposed to protect the people. Now when she's in a real situation where she needs help, she's not gonna call 911 because she's
Right.
scared of the cops.
Or teachers or anybody in the school.
Really?
Like,
Now
she will
all
never
that
feel
trust- that
safe
trust
or
is-
Her
trust or anything.
exactly. That's gone.
She lost trust, y'all.
That's gone. So as we all know, I think everybody in the DMV and maybe the entire country, I mean, you know I am, I can speak for myself, but everybody is waiting and is excited for this Aventura Inmortal concert, okay? Like I said, I'm excited. You know, they kicked off already the tour back in February in California. They already hit Texas and Dallas and Houston, okay? This week they're going to be in Chicago. Then there's going to be Massachusetts, and then bam, they'll be here in the DMV. You know, I don't know. Are you guys going to the concert?
I'm going on Tuesday.
You're going.
But on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
You weren't invited.
You weren't.
Not yet.
Right.
It's in the works. Don't
You left them behind?
Yeah. 'cause
No. There's a backstory. We'll be.
But you know what? I've definitely been hearing, like, you know, online. I kind of like cheat when it comes to concerts that I'm like really anxious for. So I like start looking at like people's like stories and posts about like, you know, the concerts in other cities. And I've been hearing like, you know, a lot of good things and seeing like people literally walking out the stadium like crying. Like, it was just amazing. And I'm like, wow, I want to be like that.
It
But-
touched their soul.
Yeah, it literally touches their soul. But then I've seen like other people saying like, oh, like it's not everything that I was expecting, and like, oh, like this is what I waited 10 years for, and I'm just like,
Be grateful.
whoa, wow, you
Damn,
know.
she talking about 10 years young. You want to hear a true story?
The-
I haven't seen Aventura since I saw Aventura initially when they came out with Cuando Volverás.
That was
Dead
that
ass.
was.
That was at the
literally,
cage,
Hold on.
14th Street.
Yeah.
Back in the day, these Bamas looked like waiters, dog. They had like,
It was crazy as
white
hell.
button down, yeah, skinny.
Yeah,
Romeo
white
was like
beard.
this, yo, like a big old, you know, like a middle finger in the middle of the upper roof, bro. You know what I mean? But I haven't seen them since they came out looking like waiters and with
That's-
button down white shirts and some like in some black slacks, yo.
Wasn't that like early?
You weren't even
2000s?
born, dog. I don't even think so,
You
yo.
don't know me.
He's talking about the next generation.
No.
That's the album.
Yeah, oh yeah,
That's the
the
album.
very first album.
That's the first album.
Since
the
their
next
first
generation.
album was basically the last time I saw them. I was supposed to see them when Don Omar came with King King's tour, but they didn't show up on time. Apparently they showed up late and Romeo came and sang
Yeah, he came and sang that song.
Infieles
Yeah.
with Don Omar. But yeah, I was just like, oh, y'all suck. You know what I mean? I was trying to see them then because that's when they had the, what were they? They were KOB around that time.
Yeah,
KOB,
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean,
I'm
like-
actually like, I might be the one crying out there.
No, I'm telling you,
You know?
I already feel it. Like I know it's gonna be me. But like you know what? Like one thing that I did hear is one thing that had disappointed someone was the fact that like I guess like some of their like older songs, like they weren't really like singing the whole thing and they only did like an a cappella version.
Well, you can't. You
I
gotta
just-
expect that. You gotta expect that. They got like what? It's 10 years worth of music. It's
Exactly.
like what? It's like what? 8 albums. They got like 8 albums.
Yeah,
Break up.
They got like 8
They
albums.
did break
And
up.
I thought they broke up.
They did.
They did.
That's why they're doing like this reunion.
This reunion.
I think really it's because they want to always be remembered for those like classics. They're making new music and they just want to make sure 10 years from now, our younger generations that love their new music, they can continue coming back.
Yeah, or they're just
True.
trying to
Yeah.
rebrand.
Yeah.
Yeah, rebrand.
I mean,
So-
because there's like a bunch
I
of
think,
that.
I think they're
honestly.
due. I think they're due for a new album. At least one
Are
last
they
one.
back
But
together?
That's the thing that y'all don't
Not
know.
really.
I didn't think they
Yeah, I
were
don't-
back
Yeah,
together.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're
it's just like a.
They doing. They doing.
I
They
do.
doing
No,
a
I
tour.
think
This-
it's like all groups that get back together. You can't redo the past.
That's what I'm saying. I
So-
honestly feel like, you know, at this moment, like everything is being like brought back.
Yeah.
Like to like the Pussycat Dolls. Like they just came back with a new
What?
song. Yeah. They just came back with and they're on tour. They're on tour.
Wow.
So it's just like there's like a
Pussycat
bunch
Dolls?
of like
Yeah.
There's like a
Yeah,
bunch
right.
of people like
They had,
coming
like, 2
back.
songs.
It's
What's the other the girl group too from England?
Spice Girls.
There we go.
yeah,
Yeah.
they
They
came
just
back
back.
too recently.
But they were missing one.
Yeah, Posh.
Yeah, she had better things to do.
Yeah.
She's
Posh.
She
the
has a
most
clothing
successful of them all.
Yeah.
Maybe Mel B.
Yeah. She's
I had a
great to
crush
be
on
with.
Mel B. I liked her. Still do. Sorry, babe. Hey, if I sleep on the couch,
Nah, bro, you about to pull all the air mattress in the office.
I don't even got one, bro. I got plenty of couches.
You better go get one now.
Oh man, but you know what? I guess, you know, if anything, ladies, thank you for coming today. If anything, if you want to tell our followers where can they follow you, personal page, as well as the pages for Creating Casa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so go ahead.
No, Catherine, you go ahead.
Pick your
So-
camera and do it.
You can follow us
On
at
Creating Casa
yeah.
on Instagram, on Twitter, and on
Video,
Facebook.
Twitter, and on Facebook at Creating Casa.
Yo, but still, man, thank you for going and tuning in to this particular episode with Creating Casa in the house. Thank you, ladies, again. Appreciate you. Yo, you can follow me, man, at HNRYFLO_DCF.
You can follow me at Don Willy.
You can follow me on Instagram at LaBori DMV, LABORIIIDMV.
We could do it.
Down.
Can we redo this?
Wait.
Mentioned by Diego, I'll just type it up here. I'm not
Hey, man, just let us know how you felt about this particular episode. Comment and subscribe. And thank you for tuning into the
Migo Experiment.